CTV News at 6 with Marina Moore and Tony Rima with weather.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Marina is off. At last check, some homes and businesses are still without power in Mattawa and Papineau-Cameron after yet another storm rolled its way through, knocking down trees and power lines and forcing the Canada Day festivities to be postponed. CTV's Eric Tashter has more tonight from Mattawa.
Some power is restored, but cell towers are down in Mattawa after yet another storm with blistery winds crashed its way through it and the surrounding area Tuesday night.
Our whole roof caved and it's flooded. I mean, I have buckets everywhere. My whole living room is tarped off.
The town resumed essential cleanup work and operations Thursday, and the landfill is open for storm debris cleanup. Nearby Bonfield and Papineau-Cameron sustained some damage, and crews are working to clear downed trees from the road.
It was a wall of water. I was driving into town down Highway 17, and a wall of water in front of me. Immediately, as soon as I was in it, I couldn't see anything.
Sid Turcott Park Campground was also hit hard once again, with trees down and power out, which has since been restored. The park stayed open through it all and is working to clear debris.
We were about to go for a swim, and it started to get real dark real quick. And my wife said, no, this isn't happening. And we got out of the water, started walking back to the trailers. There's two families together. And within a couple of minutes, the weather came in like nothing I've ever seen before.
Mattawa was just starting to recover from the torrential downburst that blew in a little over 6 weeks ago that knocked down at least 50 trees and caused a lot of damage.
Mother Nature does not like Mattawa. I don't know what's going on here, but it's pretty intense up here sometimes for sure.
The town of Mattawa's Canada Day festivities have been moved to Sunday. Bonfield's Canada Day events were also canceled.
This town has so much love to give and so much love to hold. I mean, no matter what happens here, we got each other.
Eric Tashner, CTV News, Mattawa.
Meanwhile, just up the highway, Canada Day celebrations carried on in North Bay. The city of North Bay posting these images to its Facebook page late this morning of some of the fun had at the waterfront. Several communities across the Northeast had drone shows, fireworks and inflatables to ring in Canada's 159th birthday in style. Meanwhile, Canada Day was a busy one for fire crews in Timmins dealing with a fire at Timmins Square. According to the city, the fire was between two rooftop HVAC units. Crews gained access to the roof from the north side of the building and were able to extinguish it before it could spread further. No one was inside the mall at the time as it was Canada Day, and it took 24 firefighters to deal with it amid the heat and humidity. This is the fourth structure fire Timmins Fire has been called to in less than a week. A 47-year-old man is facing charges after fireworks were set off close to a crowd of people in Elliott Lake. Provincial police say the man was arrested last night after setting off his own fireworks at Spruce Beach in Elliott Lake. The crowd of people had gathered to watch the main Canada Day fireworks display in the city. Officers say they also found 3 bottles of alcohol and suspected methamphetamine pills on the man when he was arrested. As the heat continues to work overtime in Northern Ontario, the outdoor workforce is pushing through. CTV's Madison Marriott now on how many are beating the heat while still staying on schedule.
It's the kind of weather that makes people want to stay inside or head to the beach, but many laborers are still outside climbing ladders and spreading asphalt.
It's really hot. We're struggling just a bit, but overall we're getting our work done and everything's going well.
Up on the roofs again, it gets super hot. Something down here maybe feels like 30, but up there it feels probably more like 45 or so. So it's definitely something we take very seriously, making sure our guys are in good shape and not pushing themselves too hard.
LaValle says water, shade, and sunscreen are essential on any day, but today they've packed extra.
We've been expecting the weather, just checking the news and making sure we keep up with it so that we stay hydrated, bring extra water, bring extra Gatorade, whatever we can to stay hydrated, and also extra sunscreen just in case we run out.
Our customer base is wonderful, so they actually will bring our guys water and treats. They spoil them on the job, so they give them as much as they can, especially when they're working up there in the heat, because there's no forgiveness up there.
Employee safety is a top concern for these Sudbury-based organizations, and they say their customers share those same values.
Our clients anyway seem to be pretty understanding with the weather and whatnot, between the rain and the heat and everything like that. So if need be, we'll have to reschedule to maybe the following day or whatnot because of the shorter days we're having.
So far they've been okay. They haven't said anything to us, but if they called us at 2 o'clock and said, you know what, we can't work anymore, then you know what, we have to trust that and say, okay, they can't work anymore.
Public health organizations across Ontario are recommending to stay in shade when possible, wear sunscreen, and drink lots of water to prevent heat-related illnesses. And organizations around Sudbury that we spoke to said they're taking these precautions very seriously.
They are the ones doing the work out in this heat, so we need to care about them first and foremost, and we do.
Madison Marier, CTV News, Sudbury.
And with all the heat and humidity, these were some of the sights and sounds from celebrations happening in French River and Noelville. It led to the municipality opening up the arena doors to allow people some refuge. Funds were also raised for the French River Fire Association by use of a dunk tank, and I was honored, as you just saw there, to go in with Mayor Peugeot getting me on her second attempt. She's got a good arm. She, I think, threw 3 balls and she got me on 2. Time for our first check on weather. Here's CTV's Tony Ryman. And Tony, it was a hot one out there.
It sure was, Ian. Good evening, everybody. As we take a look at our weather alerts, still under that heat warning right across the broadcast region in yellow, and also a severe thunderstorm watch in through Timmins, Timiskaming Shores, and North Bay. Those thunderstorms could roll through this evening into the early morning hours, and then after that, well, it's going to be still warm. Here is a sense of the temperatures. What was rather cool, 16 degrees, but with the Humidex 21, Sault Ste. Marie 28, but it feels like 36. Sudbury with the Humidex 37 when it's really 29, and North Bay 27, and it feels like 35. I'll have your 7-day weather forecast a little later in the show. Ian.
Thanks for that, Tony. And a warning to pet owners. The City of Elliott Lake and OPP are reminding people not to leave pets or a child in a car with this heat. According to officials, it could be deadly for anything inside. They add, cracking a window may not be enough. If you see a pet or child in the car that you believe is in danger, contact the OPP or 911 in an emergency. There's more to come on CTV News at 6. Speaking of Elliott Lake, let's go to a live shot of the boat launch. This shot coming courtesy of the city itself, and it is looking absolutely gorgeous down there tonight, but it's a warm one. Tony will have all the details on how long this will last. Stay with us. You're watching CTV Northern Ontario. Charges after an incident in North Bay involving a fake firearm. Police say they were called to Memorial Drive around 11 last night after reports of someone pointing a firearm and making threats. When the team was arrested, officers say they seized a replica firearm along with weapon charges. The girl is also charged with uttering threats. Roughly $130,000 in drugs have been seized after multiple search warrants were conducted yesterday in Hearst. That's according to the Anishinaabe Police Service, which says it was targeting drugs being trafficked into Constance Lake First Nation. It searched 1 home and 2 motor vehicles. According to police, they seized fentanyl, cocaine, cash, and drug paraphernalia. A 28-year-old Constance Lake First Nation man is facing several charges. Canadore College is looking at cutting up to 35% of its programs as it struggles to deal with a large operating deficit. According to the school's business plan, the budget deficit for 2027 is estimated at $23.8 million. Canadore says it's struggling to adapt to new limits on international student enrollment. That's translated to a drop in revenue of $45.3 million. While officials say there are reserves to cover the deficit this year, major changes need to be made for viability long term. The college plans to review programs with lower demand while continuing to invest in new programs that respond to emerging workforce needs. The Timmins Chamber of Commerce has released a new report outlining business priorities in the city. The Chamber's Driving Business Growth Report is based on feedback from 259 business owners and stakeholders. It identifies 6 key priorities, including infrastructure, community safety, and housing. The report found 73% of respondents rated roads and infrastructure as poor or very poor, while 70% rated public safety and bylaw enforcement poorly. It also notes 47% rated municipal permitting and approvals as poor or very poor.
Those are items that are to guide the candidates in terms of our business community, what their priorities are, what they want to continue seeing happening in the community, to invest in the community and to make sure that it is a priority, which obviously it is as well for the municipality, but making sure that the right attention and investment and resources are put towards all those priorities.
The report also points out how friction and disagreement at the council table can undermine confidence in the local business community and impact investment decisions. A solidarity walk for Kashechewan First Nation is being planned for tomorrow in Niagara Falls. It comes on the heels of comments made at a recent City Hall meeting in which comments were made about evacuees in the area. Chiefs of Ontario released a news release this afternoon saying they're standing with residents and citizens in finding the comments about the evacuation insulting. In a statement, Ontario Regional Chief Abram Benedict writes in part, "Families are placed under extreme stress and duress, and they deserve to be welcomed with dignity, not discrimination and stereotypical remarks." The walk will get underway at 11 a.m. and end at Niagara Falls City Hall at 3 o'clock. They were all smiles Tuesday night in Elliott Lake as the city came together to mark the 50th anniversary of the Ruben Uliuti pool. The Uliuti family was invited to take part in the celebrations, posing there in advance of all the big fun. There were some speeches, photos, followed by lap swimming. It was called 50 Laps for 50 Years. To mark a special occasion for the community, the pool will now reopen in late August. The hospital in Timmins was on the receiving end of two separate funding allotments, both from the provincial government. MPP for Timmins, George Peary, was at the Timmins and District Hospital today to announce the funding. $1.9 million will help complete upgrades and repairs at the facility. Further $4.2 million in additional base funding will go to support hospital operations. That's meant to help the hospital respond to growing demand and to improve timely access. Before leaving school for the summer, students in Sudbury got a hands-on lesson in how the earth works, all thanks to provincial funding. CTV's Amanda Hicks reports.
Grade 4 and 5 students from École Saint-Denis are exploring the Delki-Dozy Community Food Forest. Armed with worksheets, their mission is to match the plants on their papers with what's growing in the garden.
Learning about how the earth works and stuff. I like how we were in the nature, smelling it, and learning that they actually have feelings.
I like that we get to see different plants and smell the flowers and see the bees and how they eat the pollen.
For the past year, Sudbury Shared Harvest has offered this free program for students in grades 1 through 9, focusing heavily on environmental agriculture and sustainability.
We talked about the different layers in the forest, from the roots to the trees. Then they did some exploration on a plant that they were assigned. And we brought the page along here today to discover the plant and see if they could find it and identify it.
The nonprofit recently received $217,700 from the Ontario Trillium Foundation to expand the program over the next 3 years.
This grant really enables us to visit much more students. So we have done a lot of school programming, but when we were previously doing hundreds of visits, now we can do thousands of visits.
You can see it firsthand with the kids how excited they are, and so anytime learning is fun, it sticks more with you, right?
While the program was initially designed with a French focus, Sudbury Shared Harvest says they are busy making tweaks to the format to offer an English version within the next year. Amanda Hicks, CTV News, Sudbury.
A lot of budding ecologists right there. Let's go to a man who knows a lot about gardening. Back for a check on the current conditions with Tony Rima.
Thanks so much for that, Ian. Let's take a look at our weather alerts. Still hot out there. A heat warning in place for the whole area, outlined in yellow, and a severe thunderstorm watch in place for Timiskaming Shores, along with Timmins and North Bay into the evening hours, into the early morning hours. Then after that, we're starting to get some clearing. As we take a look at our systems map, we have low pressure along with two cold fronts, and we're kind of sandwiched in between. But as the system moves out of our broadcast region, we're going to get some clearing skies. Temperatures are going to drop just a little bit. The odd shower or two, but that's about the extent of it. The weekend looks beautiful. As we take a look at our overnight conditions in through Sudbury, 18 degrees, a chance of rain. Sault Ste. Marie, also some shower activity expected, much the same for Timmins. Timiskaming Shores, you're going to have clear skies, 18. North Bay, risk of thunderstorms, a chance of showers, 19 degrees. Moosonee, this is what you can expect, a little cooler, 11 degrees, along with showers, and it's going to be a soggy evening in through Cap and Hearst, partly cloudy for Wawa. Temperatures starting to drop in Gore Bay, 18 degrees, along with Parry Sound, and a chance of rain. Okay, let's take a look at our 7-day weather forecast, starting with Sudbury, Nickelbell tomorrow. Sun, cloud, and a 30% chance of rain. Still warm, 29 degrees, but then the temperature starts to fall. Sunshine will prevail, looks good until next Thursday, 28 degrees when it should be 24 this time of year. For Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, sun, cloud, and some shower activity, 27 degrees. Temperature starts to fall, 24, spot on Saturday. Sunday, pretty nice. Same Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, increasing cloud cover, and temperatures are going up. As we head on over to Timmins, Cochrane, and Kapuskasing, sun, cloud, and a chance of rain, 27 degrees and lots of sunshine in there. Tuesday, 30% chance of showers, 32 degrees, still above seasonal temperatures. Thursday, 27. Heading on over to Timiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake. Mix of sun and cloud tomorrow, above seasonal temperatures. The weekend looks beautiful, a lot of sunshine. Then the temperature improves yet again on Tuesday. Wednesday is going to be a scorcher. Thursday comes down ever so slightly. Should be 24. It will be 28. And finally, folks, your 7-day weather forecast for North Bay, West Nipissing. Tomorrow, well, sun, cloud, and a chance of rain, 30%. But you know what that means? 70% chance of it not raining. Temperature 30 degrees Celsius. The temp drops a little bit. Saturday, Sunday looks nice. Monday's going to be beautiful. 27 degrees, ticks up on Tuesday, and Thursday there's a chance of shower activity. And our picture of the day comes to us from Riley in Timmins, and this is Thelma. Happy Canada Day. She's in the spirit, of course. Great pictures there. By the way, we'd love to see your pictures. You can send us those at weather.pictures@bellmedia.ca. Ian, it's back over to you.
Thelma's quite the cutie. Thanks, Tony. Next on CTV News at 6. The American government decides not to renew CUSMA, leaving many to wonder what happens next. And a 43-year-old security guard is pulled alive from the rubble in Venezuela following last week's earthquakes.
Clothing provided by Laura, Melanie Lynn.
The decision by the United States not to renew CUSMA, the current North American trade agreement, is causing uncertainty for businesses in all three countries.
That's a significant barrier to a main advantage of the agreement, which is predictability for business so that they can make investments.
The decision by the United States followed a virtual meeting of representatives from all three countries. A 43-year-old security guard has been pulled alive from the rubble following those two devastating earthquakes last week.
Perfecto.
He was located in a collapsed basement of a shopping mall, ending a grueling operation. The man had been there for 8 days but was extracted safely. Rescuers initially made contact with him over the weekend. The man worked the night shift at the complex and was inside his small security cabin when the first violent tremor struck. A new global wealth list is out, and Canada ranks 13th in the world. According to a new report from the Swiss National Bank, Switzerland tops the list with an average wealth of about $910,000 US per person. The United States is second at almost $700,000. Canada is in 13th place at just under $400,000. The report takes into account financial and non-financial assets, such as properties minus debts. Canada's host cities are in the spotlight today at the World Cup, with 2 huge round of 32 matches taking place on Canadian soil. It's going to be a wild and hot one in Toronto, where the city is hosting one of the tournament's marquee matchups so far, and what could be Cristiano Ronaldo's last World Cup game. Portugal takes on Croatia. That match kicks off at 7 p.m. on TSN, CTV and Crave, and we'll have all the action right here on CTV Northern Ontario in just a few moments. And Vancouver is also hosting a match today. Switzerland will be up against Algeria at BC Place. That's at 11 p.m. our time. World Cup fans in the U.S. are suing ticket reseller StubHub, accusing the platform of failing to deliver the expensive tickets they bought on the secondary market. Fans claim they did not get what they paid for because StubHub never delivered their promised tickets. The proposed class action was filed Tuesday. The lawsuit seeks at least $5 million US for thousands of people in the U.S., while StubHub offered refunds. Fans say that was little comfort since they were already stuck with airfare and lodging costs. StubHub has yet to comment. A European court has ruled against Google in a major antitrust case.
The court second chamber hereby, first, dismisses the appeal. Second, orders Google LLC and Alphabet Inc. to bear their own costs and to pay those incurred by the European Commission.
Google was fighting a record $7 billion fine that was imposed 8 years ago for using its Android operating system to block rivals. The tech giant made agreements which forced phone manufacturers to pre-install Google Search, Chrome, and Google Play, while also blocking them from using rival Android systems. Google's appeal to the Luxembourg-based Court of Justice of the EU has now been dismissed. The U.S. added just 57,000 jobs in June, about half of what was expected. BNN Bloomberg's Morella Fernandez has more on that.
Still, the U.S. unemployment rate fell to 4.2%. That's because fewer Americans were looking for work. The labor participation rate measures the working age population who are employed and those looking for work. In June, it fell to 61.5%. Excluding the COVID years, it is the lowest rate in about 50 years. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up to 70.50. West Texas Intermediate up to 68.47. Western Canadian Select is down over $2 to 53.12. And the TSX ended the day up 109 points. Those are your business headlines. I'm Morella Fernandez.
Yesterday's celebration of our country's birthday also kicked off a very Canadian event in the Sioux. Today marks the second day of Poutine Feast, the annual festival with vendors from across the province. Things are a bit tamer today at the Sioux Festival, coming off a crowded Canada Day. Still, plenty of Siouxites return to get their fill of the wide variety of specialty poutine options. It's the first time Canada Day hasn't fallen near the end of the festival, with vendors noting there were long lines and plenty of American visitors yesterday. The vendors say they're confident that many holiday visitors will be back throughout the week.
Here, it's always been, there's never been a bad day here. Even when we had rain days, we've had rain day or Canada Day, there's still people lining up. So Sault Ste. Marie is one of those towns, they love their poutine. It doesn't seem to slow them down, the weather at all, right? So I don't see a forecast of a bad day.
I'm a poutine lover, got smoked brisket and jerk chicken poutine. It looks pretty amazing down here. There's lots of options and I don't know, it's pretty crazy first time.
I'm intrigued by this smoked brisket. I'm going to have to head over there and take a look. Poutine Feast runs 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, ending on Sunday. That is our newscast this Thursday night. We leave you early tonight because we're going to hand things over to FIFA World Cup coverage. I'm off tonight, so Amanda Hicks will have your late night news coverage following the game. We leave you with some of the fireworks from Noelville last night. Thanks for watching. Good night.